Welcome to the Redvee TV Instant Reaction, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. As we reflect on St Helens' 52 points to 10 victory over the Salford Red Devils here in our final pre-season game before the big kickoff in 12 days' time. Kev, I was talking on the preview show saying I always wonder why I'm here after 10 minutes in these pre-season games, but not today. There was a lot to take from that game. We've obviously seen 33 Saints players have a run out. It was a game of two halves, both resulting in a Saints victory. But first half, essentially the majority of our first team got the run out and did very, very well against the Salford first team.
Yeah, we said in the preview that the result doesn't matter, the scoreline doesn't matter. So it was really pleasing to see us play with the fluidity that we kind of want to see build up through the season. I thought we've done well today. I'm not entirely sure Salford will be pleased with their hit out, or at least aspects of their hit out. But you can only play against what's put in front of you, and we've done that very professionally today. I'm not going to get too carried away with it, but there are very, very promising signs though.
Yeah, I think we need to say, just as the result didn't matter against Swinton, the result counts for nothing as well today. What was good to see was we seem to have a greater attacking fluidity. It's obviously an area of focus during the off-season, and we seem to present dangers across the park.
Yeah, we did. We've mentioned about having strike in our preview of Joe Batchelor today across the park, and that's shown today. Cut out balls out for wingers, second rowers getting in on the act, prop forwards bursting through and making the right option. Just that kind of backup play that I feel like we were missing sometimes last season. That just being on the shoulder of your mate, and again, without getting too carried away at what is a pre-season trial. If we can take that into the new season and build on it, we'll once again be there or thereabouts, won't we?
Do you read anything into the starting team that went out there today, with John Bennison getting the nod ahead of T. Ritson? Does that give it a little bit of an inkling of how we could line up in round one against London? I
think so. Obviously, Mark Percival's missing out of that back line today, so there may well still be a little bit of tinkering there.
Does Percival come in and Blake go out wide?
Again, that could be the thought, but with the players that are available, it looks like that is what Wello would go for in round one. I can't see him changing it up too much, but I think in that back line, it's quite windy in here today, isn't it?
Well, the roof was going to blow off in that second half. 1 point.
It looked good.
That was a bit of wind too.
It looked good having it won't be the camera, it'll be the mic. It looked good with Connie in the centres as well. He looked good from that run out against Swinton. It looked like, we've said it, he said it, he needs that run out, he needs to be playing, and he looked good for it because he played into that second half and was still carting the ball up.
He genuinely looked in much better shape 2 weeks on. I know but despite all the pre-season, he gets his fitness playing in games. He said that himself, and he looked trim today and looked on it.
He did, and it's great to see because you want that. You want there to be selection headaches, and the likes of Connie putting his hand up, saying I've got to be one of the centre positions.
I'll take the camera in a minute, Kev. You answer the questions. We're getting questioned in the background, so I'll let Kev answer that while we carry on. Very windy here today at the Totally Wicked. There was a point in that second half, Kev, where the wind is blowing and that roof felt like it was coming off.
It certainly did. That's been a factor for the teams today, and I thought when it was first team against first team in that first half, going 28-0 up, we'd had the wind behind us. You think maybe Salford will make a bit more of it in the second half, but then you get all the changes. I know we changed quite a few going into the second half, so when we came back onto concourse we had quite a few changes. Salford left it a little bit later to make their changes.
Do you think they left their first team out a little bit longer because they weren't happy with their first half, essentially?
Possibly, yeah.
To try and correct some stuff stuff they talk about at half time.
Possibly put a bit of that sharpness into their legs. Because, listen, they're doing it tough, aren't they? They're doing it tough with the number of players they've lost.
And I think it's fair to say we don't actually know where they're up to with it.
No.
That might be a bit. Yeah. We might be a little bit further on with preparations. All the good things, as you said, Johnny Lomax, cut out ball to Tommy, doing what Tommy does best. We just seemed, as you said earlier, on the shoulder a lot more, supporting, playing what's in front of you, and anticipating what's going to come. And that's showing. I'm very, very infused. What do you make of Wonga Blake tonight? First run out.
Well, his first action seemed to be letting the ball bounce when the wind's blowing it everywhere.
I don't think he's faced that sort of wind before.
He probably hasn't. It's probably new to him. Listen, a little bit quieter than you might want to see, but you've got to remember that this is him in a first performance for us. He's come over. He's probably a little bit behind in his pre-season. He's got minutes in his legs. They've tried getting the ball out to him and putting him through a little bit of work, which is great. It's great. I'm hoping we're going to see more from him, and I've no doubt.
Anything else to comment on that first half before we move on to game 2?
I mentioned it earlier. Josh Delaney, I thought, was absolutely imperious in that first half.
What's the main
I like it. I think it's very smart. You know, he looks like a thug.
I was going to say,
a thug.
He needs to look at the camera. George, Kev says you like her.
Thug.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, George.
No, what did he get for his birthday, Kev? A raise. He looks hard.
He does. He looks. He properly like.
But he also looks like he's put prop size on.
Yes, but
he's growing into his body
without
losing the speed.
Without losing the speed and without losing anything. The fact that the ball that he played it back inside to Jack Wellesby for Wellesby's second try, it's just clever, isn't it? It's what you want from a young man, a young prop. He's broke through and he's not thought, what do I do now? Try barreling through the fullback. He's drawn someone and put it to the correct option. No offence to Joe Batson, who was on the other side, but I'd rather have Jack Wellesby running it in.
Before we move on to the second half, I think we'll talk about the other 2 new signings that we've made in the off-season. First of all, Darryl Clark starts at 9 today. You're not going to get prime James Roby 2015, 2016 when Robes is at his peak, but I don't think you're going to get any sort of drop off from Roby in his final season. I think obviously just having that younger legs out there and the hopefully quicker run in 2024 is going to benefit us, and I think it's going to go well for us.
Yeah, I think you almost, without wanting to be being a little bit unfair on Darryl Clark, I actually think it's not even looking at Roby's last season. You're probably getting a quicker Roby than 2-3 years ago.
I think I'm not trying to be. What I'm trying to say is, I think everybody always sees and will try and compare Darryl Clark against James Roby at his prime.
When James Roby's like 28 to 30.
And that's nothing against Darryl. That's nothing against Darryl Clark. Nobody's James Roby. I think you've judged Darryl Clark on his own merits, and I think if you look at 2024 against 2023, you could potentially say
it's an upgrade.
It's an upgrade, and that's not being harsh on
either. I think upgrade-wise, you're probably looking at legs and maybe fitness a little bit, not being that battered player who is struggling to get out of cars and struggling to walk the day after game. You're getting someone who is probably that little bit sharper. Hopefully that's good for us as the season goes on.
I think it also helps Moses as well, who came off the bench, relieving Darryl.
He did, and fitted into the halves very well. Fitted into the halves very well in the second half. Matt Whitley, right?
Just laughing at that, over.
Yeah. Let's talk Matt Whitley then. Right. Matt Whitley, if you've seen, sorry, he's had to go because he's got a laughing fit. If you've seen our preview to Matt Whitley,
which Kev hasn't,
which I haven't, I'm going to ask you a question. You said that he's going to be in and around our Player of the Season discussions.
Yeah.
Today, how do you think he went? What does he bring to the team that we haven't had in previous years?
I really like him. I think he, like Batch, who runs good lines, I think Matt Whitley is a very, very similar player, and I think playing off the likes of Johnny Lomax, and Lewis Dodd, who want to put players through them gaps and them lines, I think he's going to be absolutely lethal for us. I think I said in the preview, I think he's going to be in and around our best players this season, and I've not seen anything today that's going to change my mind. Ran a great line tonight, scored a great triumph.
Yeah, he looks like he's someone who, like Matty Lees, likes getting involved in the action, likes getting in people's faces, not in a dirty way, but just being around. And as you say, great line runner, scores a try. I bet he's really, really happy to be actually pulling on a Saint shirt after all these years.
Yeah, well, we were talking to one of his former teachers today, who was saying he was a model pupil, who used to say, it doesn't matter because I'm going to play for Saints one day. And he never thought that was going to be the case. But you know what? Who's had the final laugh? Right, that's the first half, done and dusted. Second half, plenty of changes, but a lot to be enthused about looking forward. So many good performances.
Yeah.
I'm easy asking the questions, I won't make answer.
Oh, fair enough. We say it's almost a case of our second string against their second string and their academy of reserves and the likes. And again, I just thought we were better all round the park, even with the wind in our faces. You've got the likes of young George Whitby, you've got the likes of Johnny Vaughan, you've got the pace of Owen Dagnall there, and the pace, the 80-90 metre run from Deon Sambu. I mean, first touch, he picks it up and he just absolutely, it didn't look like he was going to quite get away, and then all of a sudden he just found another half a yard and went. That is what got us out of our seats. That is what we want to see. Shades of moving grace about it. No.
Absolutely rapid.
And that is something to be excited about. That big look. As I say, every time we got the ball, then people like, oh, let's go on, see what you can
It's
do.
almost like, Kev, when we've done our previews and we've talked about the young lads who are coming through, it's almost like we know what we're talking about.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, they are very, very good. I thought Johnny Vaughan, he's got the size, he's got a real tear of pace and looks ready as well.
Yeah, he does. And I think that's a big thing, I think it's a massive thing, that being ready. There's players out there who will need a bit more time, and that is understandable. Johnny looks like someone who could play half a dozen games this year, absolutely no problem, and not look out of place. We've mentioned that in this preview. And why not? Let's talk about the players that we're sponsoring this year as well.
Who's that, Kevin?
That'd be Redvee's Noah Stevens.
What do you think of him?
You know what? I like the way that he stays upright in the tackle as long as he can, so he can keep his legs moving. Game smart of letting the ball bounce straight out as well from kickoff. Thought he got a little bit of lucky with the other one.
I thought he had ballet feet, I
Yeah,
thought he stayed in.
Gone.
But he made a real impact, didn't he? And I think he as I say, really hard to get to ground, made one real good barreling run. There's a lot to work with there.
Yeah, definitely.
Potential is the word.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the size, and it's about finding, again, like George Delaney, finding a little bit of game time. Whether he does get a run out for the first team, I probably doubt it that much this season. But Swinton might give him a shot on Jill Reg reserves. He'll definitely get a good run out for them and be ready for his chance, because there's going to be moments in games like that that make Paul Wellings and his coaching staff look at the players and think, you could get a job for me, you need to be ready.
Yeah, just being around the first team players is learning. It's about learning how to be a prop in the first team for these players. You get so much from just being in and around the squad this season. As I say, Dagnall, really good out wide. Deon was good, Noah was good. I think Mackenzie Buckley did alright when he came on. We've essentially got a golden generation coming in. Do you know what? Listen, not everyone will make it. But if you, from that group of players, if you get 2 or 3 of them through, the academy is working wonders. And it all goes back to the community clubs who start these players off and give them the shot to begin with. And then obviously once they come into the academy setup here at the club and the way we teach them, something's
Yeah, and even talking about community clubs, look at Jake Burns today. I thought it was almost night and day with his passing from half against Swinton. I don't think it was terrible, but I think today was much sharper. It was better, and he was able to put the ball where he wanted to. So again, if he needs to step up and do a 10-minute stint either side of half time to give Darren Clark or most of them by a break, that's a good sign for him. A bit of a different way of coming through, but listen, you've been given a squad number in the top 25, you've got to be ready.
Yeah. Before we finish, today's game was chosen as a video ref game in preparation for new season, so we can check the technology. It started off well, delayed kickoff due to not being able to link up with Wilmslow. Somebody else hasn't paid the phone bill. There was a camera in each corner, and then obviously you got the main TV camera that's being used. So I don't know how many is them for a normal Sky game. You've maybe got the sideline cameras, the guys running up and down the sideline. So you've got less cameras. The questions I've got from today are: A, will they be judging on the same decisions that they will be in the fully televised Sky game where more cameras are available, or is it going to be limited to just maybe red card decisions and tries? And equally, what I didn't like, with no screen being here, when the game is stopped, you cannot end up like the Premier League where you are stood here, and quite often you'll know what's happening, but how many occasions are there going to be where the game is stopped and you're just waiting for the video ref in Wilmslow and not know what's going on? There needs to be some sort of link that the fans in the stadium know what's going on, because I'll tell you now, in the Premier League, when you're a fan and you're paid your money and you're sat there for 4 minutes in the stadium not knowing what they're even looking at is incredibly frustrating.
Well, I think there will be a screen. Seems website said that in the games going forward there will be a screen. So that's good. I get your point. I know Mr. Moore has used the video ref or the video ref call it today for an active foul play where he's simming the Salford player. But as long as it's uniform across, I have no problem. As long as it's uniform, but it needs to be uniform.
Yeah, but I just that's just me. I just want to clarify what we're looking at, and it just needs to be clear to the fans of the stadium.
Yes. Don't let us be second-class citizens when we're here. Absolutely right. That said, I was worried about how many penalties and cards there would be today. Most of them seem to go to Salford. I thought Mr. Moore had a good game today. Excellent today. Yeah,
considering the new interpretation of the rules,
yeah,
he allowed it to flow where necessary, got all the big decisions right. Top referee.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be relieved to get inside.
We'll pull it away for like. Who was it? Dorothy Campus.
Yeah.
Right. We'll be back here 12 days time for the big kick-off against London Broncos. And I know the results don't matter, but do you know what? We play like we did in the first half. Looking at full time and ready, and we will play it.
It's a big.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will carry on with our player previews over the coming week, and then obviously we'll have another Redvee TV show. Catch you soon.